I have no problem. I have spent 2.5 hours. I can wait. Government of India, Mr. Sinha, Additional Secretary and other officials of the central government, along with the entire team from Delhi government, led by their Chief Secretary, Power Secretary, Additional Secretary Power, other senior officials, and the distribution companies have all had an opportunity to express in a very free and frank manner what is happening in Delhi, what are the problems that New Delhi particularly faces, the solutions that will help to bring about order in the entire power grid and the power systems of Delhi. And at the outset, I must tell you that while I'm grateful to all the officials for the cooperation and for the free and frank discussion, I'm extremely concerned about the serious problems that this sector has faced in the last 12 years. As we explored each subject in great detail, which would account for the 2.5-hour meeting that we have just concluded, more and more things came out of the closet. And if you were to ask me the crux of the entire problem, I think the real crux, the real constraint that is causing such agony to the citizens of Delhi is clearly the lack of decision making, the lack of investment in infrastructure, the lack of any forward planning in the last 12 years since 2002, which was particularly accentuated in the last 4 years since 2010, with a massive policy paralysis, action paralysis, execution paralysis, with very poor decision-making speed and even poorer execution of ongoing projects. Any good government has to plan in advance, has to plan for the ever-increasing population of Delhi, has to do assessment of loads going forward, and has to execute adequate transmission and distribution projects to ensure that capacity to take care of the needs, particularly with redundancy, where you have to provide for contingencies of power breakdown, natural calamities, other incidental damages. Unfortunately, my investigations reveal that correspondents since 2002 have shown very poor addition to the grid capacity. In all of the last 12 years, only a few grids in 220 MVA and one grid in 400 MVA have been added. Most often people have done with adding a transformer here or adding a transformer there or doing routine maintenance and upgradation. But a holistic vision and a holistic plan for Delhi is completely non-existent after over a decade of a government which was led by the mother of the Honorable MP from the region which is worst affected by the power crisis. It is very unfortunate that some political parties have chosen to politicize this issue, little realizing that the facts of the matter reveal that my government under the new leadership has only taken charge 2 weeks ago, but we have had a government for 15 years which was completely insensitive to the growing demand of Delhi and which has failed to provide the needs of the infrastructure. Of course, added to that, there were two other problems. We had a natural calamity of a storm a few days ago, which led to a large number of towers being extensively damaged and 3 major lines which went out of commission. In the normal course, these lines would have taken weeks to restore. I would like to compliment the power grid officials who worked day and night using whatever infrastructure was available anywhere in the region, not only in Delhi, but anywhere in the region, temporarily restored power in the Mandola Gopalpur line and the Bamnaoli Papan Kalan 1 line through emergency restoration systems. The third line, Bhavana Rohini, is under restoration and I believe will be restored during the course of the day today. The Bhavana Rohini line, which will be restored by later in the day today. The permanent restoration of these three lines would in the normal course take several months, going by the track record of such projects, such problems. Today, the Power Grid Corporation has very kindly taken it upon themselves to immediately start addressing the problem of a permanent restoration on all these three lines, and we are assisting the Delhi companies, the Delhi power companies. By restoring these three lines, we will work 24/7 and get them up and about, latest within 2 weeks. Internal deadline is 10 days. Of course, the other time bomb that is ticking is that many other lines require to be repaired and maintained expeditiously. It is something which will require a lot more planning and a lot more detailed study. I have ordered the requisite officials to take that up on priority and be prepared for any eventual contingency in the future. There has also been a load increase due to the excessive summer, causing a spike in demand to about 5,800 megawatt, which, because of the bad planning of the last decade, Delhi is ill-equipped to provide. However, as of now, we are working at 5,300 megawatt. At times, it has gone up to 5,600 megawatt. But clearly, the power grid, as it stands today, is outdated, needs augmentation and modernization, and may repeatedly have outages and tripping problem, even going forward, for which we have done significant discussions and plans in today's meeting. The detailed review taken today has identified all low-hanging fruits on which the central government is going to monitor and assist the Delhi government to act speedily. We will cut across departments and other governments to take action and decisions, some of which I will highlight to you today in the next few minutes. One very important decision which has been taken today relates to the gas generating station at Bhavana, which has a capacity of 1500 megawatt, but is currently producing only 290 megawatt. 1500 megawatt, which is currently producing only 290 megawatt. The NTPC, under the central government, has very kindly consented to release gas as much as required by Delhi and as much as this weak transmission grid of Delhi can absorb to enhance the production there, which will bring some relief, because this power is produced within Delhi and will be able to be evacuated into Delhi. The problem of getting power from outside Delhi and supplementing Delhi's power is lack of adequate transmission lines, which have not been planned. Therefore, the only additional capacity that Delhi can use is the gas from Bhavana, gas power output from Bhavana. The Delhi government has today requested us to give us gas for 400 megawatt of additional power, which I have discussed with the Honorable Petroleum Minister. He has immediately passed orders to GAIL to transfer that gas to Delhi forthwith, right away. And by 8 p.m. today, hopefully to meet the peak demand of today itself, we will have 350 to 400 megawatt additional power generation. If it doesn't happen by 8 p.m. today, it will happen later in the night. I'm trying to keep very aggressive targets for my colleagues. They have been very kind enough to accept very aggressive challenges, and we will certainly try to live up to that. As I may I please complete?